Hey guys, today I want to talk about the 3 tools that I have in my bike shop that I use least often. So let's get into it. Just one caveat before we get into talking about the tools. These 3 tools are very high quality, well-made tools. There's no problem with the tool itself. The reason these items are no longer that active in my inventory of tools is that I have come up with other alternative processes that just make it easier for me to complete the task, and I no longer really need these tools. Now, this is the first tool that I rarely use, and this is a Park Tool HBH-2. And the way this tool is designed, it fits on your handlebars and goes on the top tube of your bike. There's a strap which goes around and connects and holds it in place. And when you put your bike up in a bike stand, what it'll allow you to do is keep the handlebars straight when you're working on the front of the bike or removing the wheel. Now, there are 2 things on this that I don't particularly like with my bikes. Number one, this doesn't go down fully on the top tube and leaves a little bit of wobble there. And also the strap does not get as tight as I would like it to on the bike. But if you put the bike in a bike stand and raise the front wheel off the ground, this will hold the front wheel relatively straight so you can work on the bike. The main reason I don't use that HBH-2 tool anymore is that here's a process that I use that keeps the front wheel much more sturdy. I have a stationary bike rack in my shop, and if I put the bike up on that rack and then go in and I have a piece of Velcro and I just put that over the handlebar and pull it tight, and the front end of the bike is secure and it's not going to move around. So my process basically eliminated the need for the HBH-2 tool, and as a result I probably haven't used that tool any in the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Now, here's the second tool that I rarely use. This is a DNA Design FIT handlebar straightening tool. It'll make sure your handlebars are straight. It attaches onto your handlebars just like this, and then you press the tool down and you mash these. This piece is mashed up against the stanchions, and as long as that tool's touching both stanchions, the handlebar is straight. Now, this tool is made out of some very nice material. It's very well designed, a nice tool. A couple things that I do not like about it, though, are that the cables, on some of my bikes, the cables make it very hard to get it down and mash it against the stanchion. The second thing, on the version I have here, I put some electrician's tape. This was metal directly pushing on my stanchions, and I'm pretty peculiar about trying to avoid getting my stanchions damaged. So the tool does as it says, with those couple of things to be on the lookout for. But the reason I no longer use this tool is that what I'm used to doing, or have done historically to line up the handlebars, is I get on the bike and I just pick a point of reference, say here and here on the handlebars, here on the fork, and the same place on the other side, and then just using my eyes line the handlebars up. And I think I can get them relatively lined up that way, and it just seems as a lot easier, and I don't have to attach the tool and worry about all the issues. So as a result, it's probably been a while since I've used that tool, at least 3 or 4 years. So this is the third tool I don't use so often in my shop anymore. This is a Marzumi spoke cutting machine. This was a pretty big investment, well over $2,000 when I bought it. I really got into wheel building and still really enjoy wheel building. And I thought, taking it the extra step and cutting my own spokes would be, a really good extension of that interest. And the spoke machine, I can cut my own spokes. I have done it. I have built wheels where I've cut the spokes and threaded them with this machine. The machine does great, but you got to get the machine all set up. You got to get the blank spokes. You've got to, just work through the whole process of cutting the spokes. And because I, only cut the spokes when I need them, and that I may go several months before I need spokes. You kind of, I can't really get into a rhythm, if you will, in using the machine. And a lot of times stuff that I learned how to do, I don't remember the next time I bring the machine out. So there was a relearning process. So in going through all of that, I just found that the time building the wheels was better spent on making sure that I have the spoke lengths calculated exactly correctly, and then sending off and having someone cut the spokes for me. Relatively close to me, there's a company called Pork Chop BMX, and if I send them an order for spokes, I'll have the spokes either the next day or within the next 2 days, and they do a great job. The spoke lengths are perfect, the threads are perfect, and so as a result, I just found it was a lot easier for me just to send off and get the spokes instead of using this machine. Now that's not to say that later I may really get into it and building many more wheels and actually start cutting my own spokes. But for right now, this machine is pretty much sitting dormant in my shop, and I don't think I've used it any in the last, I'd say, 2 years. Well, there you have it, guys. The 3 tools I use least often in my shop. Once again, there's no problem with any of those tools. High quality, really nice tools. But for just whatever reason, I don't use them. Anyway, I hope I've given you guys something to think about, and I'll see you at the top.